Everybody likes to be the first at something, and everybody likes to write about the first person to become something. Some journalists do anyway, and it seems like Politico got a little excited and ahead of themselves for getting to do the research. In a recent article about Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, Politico writers headlined this, quote, "Congressman Donalds is Florida's first black Republican in Congress." But of course, this is not true, and you could find this out yourself with a simple Google search. It'll show you that. We did some searching ourselves, typed in first black Republican elected to Congress from Florida, and this came up. Josiah Thomas Walls, overcoming deep political divisions in the Florida Republican Party. Mr. Walls became the first African-American to serve his state in Congress. In fact, across the South after Reconstruction, there were a lot of black Republicans in Congress in states like Florida and Georgia and other places. Now, this mistake was called out by Florida-based journalist Javier Manjarres, and Politico later changed their headline to read, quote, "Meet Byron Donalds, Florida's third ever black Republican in Congress." They forgot about Allen West, a prominent name in politics over the last couple of decades. Politico just skipped right over him. The truth is, Florida really wasn't ready for Congressman West. He was an American first candidate and far too radical for the old Republican Guard of Florida, at least back then. They're willing to tolerate this stuff now, but a little late on the train. Let's welcome in Texas GOP Chairman, former Florida Congressman Allen West, a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel and the CEO and President of the Hope Center. We miss you, Colonel West, down here in Florida. I know as your former constituent, we miss you.
Well, thanks so much, John. It's pretty interesting. Yesterday, I got a lot of text messages from friends down in Florida, and they basically said, "You've been erased from history." And so I read that headline. I thought it was pretty funny. But again, it would have just taken a very simple Google search. And the fact that you had 3 young black journalists that wrote that piece and didn't even take the time to do their due diligence. But then think again, the Republican Party of Texas that I'm honored to be the chairman of was founded on Independence Day of 1867 by 150 black men down in Houston. And I'm not even the first black chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. The first black chairman was Norris Wright Cooney, who was a Galveston businessman back at the 1884 to about 1898. So I just would wish that the progressive socialist left would study history instead of trying to rewrite history or revise history.
Yeah, that's what happens when you cancel history. You cancel the parts you would want to remember, and about the importance of the Republican Party when it comes to abolition and all that stuff. They just don't want to remember. And, back to my point before, it wasn't that long ago, the Florida Republican Party, they didn't even support Ron DeSantis during the governor's primary of 2018. He was not their chosen candidate. It was not until President Trump actually backed Ron DeSantis that they came around. They were backing the Agricultural Commission, a guy named Adam Putman. And this is what I was saying. Colonel West, when you were the congressman down here in Florida, I remember going to your town halls and you were warning your constituents about the danger that China poses. And again, this was 10, 12 years ago. You were talking about the excess, the concerns about keeping our interest rates low and this nonstop printing of federal dollars that doesn't seem to be tied to anything. You've been talking about this stuff a long time. Is it vindicating for you at all to know that this stuff is now in vogue in the Republican Party?
Well, if I was all about myself, it would be vindicating, but I'm really concerned because leaders are supposed to be prescient. Leaders are supposed to have strategic vision. And that's why I was trying to eliminate Joe when I was a member of Congress. And of course, Republicans were the ones that redistricted me out. And even though we showed them the issue of voter fraud back in 2012, still nothing was done by the then Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Governor Rick Scott. But, you continue to press on and you continue to stand up and fight for constitutional conservative principles and all that is right to restore America to what it's supposed to be. And I'm just honored to still be in a position where I can be in this incredible ideological fight for our future.
Well, you keep it consistent as always. And Texas picking up a couple congressional seats. I know you got a job right now, but maybe one of those new seats could be yours someday. Congressman West, great to see you, sir.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, John.
No problem. Colonel West with us.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.